Solana has been on an absolute tear to the upside recently. The past 30 days, it has rallied from a low of $22 to a high of $75. Amazing run. What can it do in the future? Is it set for another explosion? Is it set for a pullback? That's what we're going to look at today. My name's Chase, 5-Day Crypto. We're going to look at Solana on the daily chart, the 5-day chart, the Gaussian channel, just to help you better trade, to be better prepared. That's what we're here for. Let's go. So look at the move. This is our Gaussian channel. We're going to explain this a little bit more in depth if you've never seen it. But basically, you want to avoid it. So Solana came down, took a peek, said, no thanks, we're going back to the upside. Great for Solana. Anytime you can avoid going into the Gaussian channel, it's a great sign, great bullish sign. The higher way you can stay from this thing is great. So this is like a little slime pit. We don't want to get in the slime pit. Has it ever been there before? Yes, one time. Now, Solana's not been around all that long, but it has entered before. You can see all three of these lines, the top, median, and bottom, will act as support and resistance as you transverse said channel. So as you can see back here, November of 2020, we came down, we hit it, we tried to avoid it, get sucked back into the slime pit, and hold perfectly on that median line for about a month, 5, 10, 15, 20. This is on a 5-day, so each candle is 5 days. We came back out of it, came back and tested it one final time, right to that top wick, and perfect launch. That is exactly what you'd want to see out of any coin that you're using. Now, I recommend using the Gaussian channel on a 5-day. It just has the least amount of fake outs on any chart. So if you use it on the daily, you can sometimes get a little bit of a heads up, but it also has a lot more fake outs. So you don't want to be using that for, your confirmations. The 5-day tends to be the best if you want to use that. So let's go to look at another chart. So this is Solana on the daily with our moving averages. This is our 21 EMA. EMA just means exponential moving average versus the SMA, simple moving average. The difference is the exponential weighs the more previous candles, the more current candles, a heavier weight than the simple. Simple just does them all the same. So that's why if you're using both, you'll often see the EMA, so like the 2021 SMA would be below this because it's not accounting in for these bigger candles. You can see this big uptick as these big candles are happening. So EMAs just allow you to see the move a little bit earlier. That's why I prefer them. But SMAs certainly have a place. A lot of pit traders use both. So it's up to you. I would recommend using both and find out for yourself what you like. Not one is not wrong or correct, or they both have their place. Okay. So let's look at the move. What does this move say? Well, is it a bullish move? Hell yes. Why? Well, first of all, you want to get your moving averages sorted out from least to greatest. Are they back here? No. Are they up here? Yes. Your 21, your 50, your 100, and your 200. These are all daily, so these will change based on what chart you're looking at. So up in the top left here, you see we're on the daily. If you go to a weekly, this would be your 21 week, 50 week, 100 week, 200 week. You got it. Okay, so in order to have the big moves, you got to be sorted out on your moving averages, as you can see here now. Let's go back and look at Solana previously and see what's happened. Well, look at the big moves. See how nice, and see the gaps in here? That's what you want to see. You don't want to see these moving averages tangled up, because then that's when you just basically a lot of chop when that happens. Look at this. As soon as they get sorted out, nice explosive move up. Seem familiar? Look what we're doing now. Get sorted out, nice explosive move up. Does that not rhyme very much with this move? You get sorted out and nice explosive move up. Then you just have a little bit of a chill out period. Come back, and when you come back, you would hope to test and hold that 21-day. You can see it didn't quite do it like perfectly, but it did come down and retest that 50-day and held that pretty nice. So that is a pretty nice move out of Solana. That's what we would want to see going forward from SOL USD. So let's go to another chart and see what we got for you even further. The Bollinger Bands, if you're not familiar with these, this is another helpful tool. If you can let's remove these moving averages. This is your median line. This is what you want to stay above if you want a bullish move to the upside. As you can see how narrow these are? These are basically, you can think of them as volatility bands. 95% of your price action is going to happen within those bands. As soon as you start getting outside of them, certainly for a prolonged period of time, it's likely that in the not so distant future, you're going to at least have to come back in for a little bit. Let's go back and look in history and see what is done. Well, look at this previous move. Price action up top, the mouth starts opening. Look how far we get outside of these, right? Extended period of time. We got out for, 3 days here, then come back in, another move up, out another 3 or 4 days, come back in, right? Hold that median line. You want to hold that when you come back and test it. Then you can bounce back up again. Look how long it stays out. Stays out 3 or 4 days, comes back in. Another move up. As long as you're holding in this upper region, very bullish. The problems start rising when the mouth opens and you come back down, because then you kind of get trapped in the bottom of the mouth here, right? So nice move we're doing now. If we are to come back in the next few days, which odds are we probably will, we just have to hold this median line. Now, each day that passes, this line is getting higher and higher, right? So depending on what, say if price action comes back down a little bit, well, shoot, this median line could be right there when it happens, right? $60, maybe even higher, right? I'm just trying to give you not saying what's going to happen. I'm just trying to give you an observation, what you want to look for if you're into Solana at all. So if this continues to play out, this mouth will likely start closing up like this. This top band will close with price. The price will come back in, and you want to see a bounce off of this median line right here. And if that happens, well, then you're going to get the mouth opening back up again. This is exactly what you would want to see. And then you can just continue to hug that top line, just like we did way back in here, right? See all these big move up, the mouth starts closing, the bottom starts closing. You hold that median line, and then you can continue to keep doing that. You can keep bouncing up the stairs here. Then the mouth opens again, then it closes a little bit again. That's what you want to do. That's how Bollinger Bands help you. If you cross that median line, that's the sign of trouble. You don't want to cross that purple line with the mouth closing, because then more likely than not, you're just gonna enter some, at least short-term temporary trouble, as we've done in the past, just briefly. But Solana is very bullish right now, so who knows what will be done. But if you want to know a little bit more, look at the 4-hour. Case in point, see the mouth closing? See the price action starting to come in here? The mouth closing up. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. It could be possible that we see something very similar play out on the daily chart in the coming days. So now let's go to the RSI. So I've laid out here the daily RSI for Solana USD. 4 of the best buys in Solana's history down here. Anytime RSI is super low like this, almost everyone is selling and no one is buying. But the smart money is. The smart money usually buys down here at these levels. So Solana, some coins are different. Some coins, their best buys are really low. Solana seems to be quite bullish, and the RSI doesn't really seem to go below 35 that much. See this line that I've drawn? Usually you want to get to below 30-ish level to start thinking about, long-term buys. This is long-term. This is not day-to-day, day trading. Don't do any of that. I make a handful of trades a whole year. This is what I look for, partially, right? So you don't want to ever use one indicator to be trading. You want to use a multitude of indicators all saying relative the same thing. And then that's when you can trade either to the sell or to the buy. But generally speaking, you don't want to be buying in these areas. You want to be thinking about at least taking some profit or setting some stop losses. So your 4 best buys are down here on Solana's history. Your 4 best sells are technically right here. Where are we now? Well, we're at all-time high RSI, right? The previous all-time high was right here, about 86. Where are we now? We're at 87. Just going to throw that out there. Doesn't mean you have to come right back down immediately or price has to crash or anything like that. Not saying that at all. See, you could stay up here for quite some time and even have some chop, and prices can vary greatly. But generally speaking, when you're making power moves like this, go look at Solana back from, early May of 2020. and then go look at it in August of 2020, then go look at it in October of 2020. Just, you can play these out on the chart. I'll leave that for you if you'd like to see what said moves are. But just throwing this out here for where we are now. RSI is great to have high, right? It's the sign of strength. But it's also, when you're entering above these levels, this 80 level, it's technically what a lot of traders look for overbought territory. Everyone is buying here. There's almost no selling. That's why price is going up. Everyone keeps buying. This is an indicator that helps you know that maybe said time is approaching for a few sells to be on the cards. Okay, so I'll leave that there for you. Gaussian channel, if you need to know more about this, I have a lot of videos on this. If you're new here, thanks for joining. Appreciate the thumbs up on the video if you liked it today. Subscribe if you feel like it, considering. We do a lot of chain link videos, as you could probably tell from my neon sign. Trying to expand out and do a little bit more altcoins. So if you have any requests, if I get a bunch of requests for alts, I will certainly try to do that video. Thank you for stopping by. As cliched as that sounds, thank you. I'll see you on the next video. And I've already said thank you, so I'm going to just